Welcome back everyone to my second Let's Play of Final Fantasy 1 from the Nintendo Entertainment System, played on the Wii Virtual Console. Last episode, our heroes Albert, Beez, Chip, and Nichols defeated the vampire in the Earth Cave. Despite defeating that vampire, the Earth hasn't started to begin to heal. So after defeating the vampire, they found a ruby in the vampire's room, and they took that ruby, gave it to the Titan that was blocking the tunnel that led to Sarda the Sage's home. Sarda the Sage knows a little bit about the Earth Cave, so when we visited him, he said that, hey, there's something more evil than the vampire beyond the vampire's room, underneath that stone plate. So he gave us a rod that will help remove that stone plate, so maybe it's like use it to lever the plate away, or maybe it's just like it just smashes the plate, because the plate disappears when you're done with it. But either way, we're going to use that rod to gain access to the final two levels of the Earth Cave. So we'll get some more treasures, and we will find the root cause of the Earth's decay. So let's check out what the rod does. The rod to remove the plate from the Earth. So I'm going to head up to behind the vampire's room here. So that's what makes this dungeon, like I said, difficult. You have to make several trips into it, so at least two. One to get the ruby, and then one to find the true source of the Earth's rot. So here we are on the 4th floor here. There's going to be two treasure rooms. The first one is up to the north here. And the other one's going to be in the southwest. The exit's in the northwest, so... but they're kind of close to one another, so... We'll get some new monsters and new trap tiles here. We've got a wizard ogre here. So... they can be annoying because they can cast the roost spell, which actually does work. It increases their evasion, so it'll be harder to hit them. This group can also appear with two hyenas. So in that case, we'll tend to try to take out the hyenas and the green ogre first, just to get rid of them, have less enemies attacking us. So anything to help avoid taking extra damage. So especially for this party, because all we have to heal ourselves is those 99 heal potions. So got some more money there. And another trap tile, like I said. This one, like I said, appears with the hyenas. So, yeah, it's just random. You're always going to get a wizard ogre and a green ogre. It's just random if you get a hyena or not. So, or a hyena or two. So, but hyenas ain't that tough. Pretty much our fighters can take them out in one hit. Because now they're hitting 3 times. Because they got another attack multiplier at their last level. So... Let's just keep taking these guys out. There's also another new enemy here that we'll encounter on a trap tile. The Sphinx monster. So, well, we'll just show all them off. So, a wooden cane, totally a useless item. Kind of makes me think of in Final Fantasy 2. Maybe it's a throwback to, maybe Final Fantasy 2 throws back to this. But you get to a later dungeon, the Mysidia Tower, and in that tower, there's like wooden staffs that are totally useless by the time that you're at that dungeon. So maybe the people in Final Fantasy 2, when they made it, they were like, let's kind of have a throwback to Final Fantasy 1, throw in useless wooden staffs in a dungeon. Because those staffs are totally worthless. Well, they're not worthless, but I think they sell for like 7 gold. So, yeah, there's no point in selling them. It's just taking up space in your inventory. So, luckily, we have a lot of weapon space to use. But yeah, if it's it's kind of just a waste of time to get it and sell it. Probably just easier just to drop it. So, but more of the Sphinxes again. So, we'll concentrate all our firepower on one. I don't think any of our fighters can take it out just by themselves, so just focus all our firepower on one and take it out. So, well, yeah, we did some really poor damage rolls there. So let's see. Hopefully, Beez can get a little bit better attacks, and Chip and Nichols can do some good work and finish off the one on top. They did pretty good on the vampire fight. Bert and Beez didn't even get a chance to attack the vampire. Chip and Nichols did their critical hits and took it out right away. So, woohoo, MVP Thieves. That doesn't really change the fact that Thieves are, like I said, a terrible class. So, they just don't, I heard there's like, they try to rebalance them in the Game Boy Advance remake, and maybe also for the PSP remake, PlayStation Portable. But I haven't played any of those ports, so because I don't have either of those things. So here's the annoying cockatrices. I'm just gonna run from them, and the reason I run from them is right there. They can hit you and turn you into stone, and a stone character is not getting any experience in the battle. So I just run from them that way. I keep all my characters at the same level, same experience. You can cure the petrification out of battle with the soft potion. Can't do it in battle, so yeah, you're stuck. So sadly, we don't get anything to protect against petrification until later on in the game. So that's one of the big problems about the Ice Cave. It's a future dungeon. There's so many status effects dealing enemies in there, and you don't have the protection from those status effects. So here's a unique combination of enemies that I've rarely seen. Giants with werewolves and gray imps. So funny thing is, those giants are, well, they're categorized as giants, but so are the imps. They're all considered giant type enemies. So if the giant sword, which is a sword we'll get later on, actually functions as it was supposed to, it would deal extra damage to those guys. But remember, bugged mechanics. So, but there we go. Taking out all the little tiny enemies first. Now we can concentrate on those giants. So they're kind of like I guess the new ogres. The updated ogres. We ran into a lot of ogres at the beginning. They were by, as soon as we crossed the bridge, Corneria, and then they were around Provoca, and then they were in Elfland, and then they were even on the bottom floors of the Earth Cave. Common enemy type. Well, now the giants are going to kind of take over there. So run into here deep in the Earth Cave, and there'll be a random encounter for most of the overworld areas that we'll be going to. So it's like the ogres have leveled up into giants. So yeah, we'll be fighting them pretty much for the rest of the game. So, but they're an enemy that you can meet in the Peninsula of Power. But back then we wouldn't be able to take them out now. So we didn't go to the Peninsula of Power. Oh yeah, we could probably do some level grinding in the Peninsula of Power. The enemies there are pretty much around, the same ones around, whatchamacallit, about like 75% of them are the same as the enemies around Crescent Lake. There's a few additions, some of the enemies from the Ice Cave, like Frost Wolves, are also around the Peninsula of Power area. So, but we don't have, that's one good thing that you'll see with this party when we take on the Fiend in a little bit. We don't have really good magic resistance. Where the White Mage had the resistance spells, the anti-ice, anti-fire, anti-lit to protect against spells and skills that deal elemental damage. This party doesn't have it, so they're going to take a lot of damage from spells until they get armor that can resist those things. So Frost Wolves will probably be very, very deadly for this party because they the Frost Wolves have a Frost spell. It's a skill. It breeds cold breath, and they usually come in really large herds, like how regular wolves do. And so you get like maybe 6, 7, 8 of them all casting, breathing that frost breath on you. Yeah, your hit points are going to go down really, really quickly. So, oh, Out of the way, bat. Beep, beep. Look, there's not too many bats on this floor. They're thinning out. Thinning out the bat herd. So, got a first strike here. Woohoo! Always good to get them. Speaking of first strikes, unless it's a battle that you aren't allowed to run from, if you get a first strike in a battle, you can always run from it. So, but we're not gonna run from this battle because it's easy experience. So, you can pretty much take out most of the enemies in that first free round that we got there. So, everybody but the Wizard Ogre is down. And now he's down too, so woo! Let's celebrate. What else do we got here? Empty treasure box. Just checking out all the things to see if there's any other trap tiles. Yeah, we got a silver shield. Sell that for some decent cash. And running through the same trap tile again. They must have got a discount on green ogres, hyenas, and wizard ogres. That's kind of a line that I borrowed from Nintendo Power when they did their feature on Castlevania 3. Three of the routes, well, two of the routes end with like a multi-boss. You have mummies and then a cyclops and then a gargoyle. And in one of the routes you just have mummies and a cyclops. So basically, you know, you fight these bosses several times. And Nintendo Power, and the one thing they said, like, Dracula must have got a discount on mummies, cyclopses, and gargoyles because of the amount of times that you fight them as bosses. So the mummy cyclops is in the haunted ship, and then depending on which way you go through the castle, either the front entrance or the basement entrance, both of those routes end with the boss battle of the mummies, cyclops, gargoyle. So, but speaking of bosses, we got one right over there in that room. So let's head on in. We want to, before we talk with that orb, we want to heal ourselves up. Make sure we're at maximum here because this is our first Fiend battle. So, Fiends can be really, really tough enemies. Well, that makes sense, you know, they're the big bads of this game, so heal up to full unless you're, like, really, really close to full. Like, I'm not going to waste a heal potion to heal, you know, 2 or 1 hit points, but the Fiend's ball cracks open. An ominous cloud rises and an evil shape congeals. It is Lich, the Fiend of Earth. So here we are, the Earth Fiend right here. Now, what's bad about him is he's kind of a spellcaster, and yeah, 75% chance to use a spell, and the first spell that he uses is Ice 2, and as you can see, that does a lot of damage to our characters. So, yeah, this is where if you had a white mage, it would be good, because they can use that a ice spell to prevent that ice damage, but we don't have that, so, but we do have a lot of guys who can hit pretty hard. Hopefully they get some critical hits, because Lich has some pretty high defense, so we're going to need those critical hits to cut through that defense, because if we wait too long, he'll cast another spell, Lit 2, so, whew, well, we defeated Lich, but we're still not clear. Remember what the sages said, you have to place the orb on the altar behind the Fiend to cleanse it. So we're going to do that, but before we do that, there's one more enemy that I need to encounter here. It's only encountered on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th floor, but it's 1 in 64 on the 3rd and 4th floor, and it's 3 and 64 on these on this floor. So best to do it here. And unlike my first playthrough of this, I actually find it pretty quickly. So it took me about like 25 minutes to get it with my first playthrough with Marty, Milo, Wibbly, and Fibs. But right here, I really didn't have to cut out much. So cut out a few battles here, but I didn't have to make a long cut. So here it is, the Ooze monster. So luckily, unlike the Muck monsters, these guys do take damage from physical attacks, so they're similar to the Mucks in that sense. Mucks are those blue things in the Marsh Cave, and Scums were the yellow ones. Remember the Scums, they only took 1 damage per hit, so it took forever to take them down unless you got a critical. But these guys are much easier to take down because you can see we can deal decent damage with our physicals. We don't need magic to finish them off, so let's take them out here, and that will clear out the Earth Cave. One good thing about the every elemental dungeon is you don't have to walk out of them. So once we place the orb on the altar and cleanse it, now you can see that the light is restored to that one orb up there. We can just step on that little tile behind the altar and it teleports us outside the dungeon. So yeah, that'll be a feature in all the elemental dungeons. So, well, if there was any doubt that our ratty heroes were the light warriors, well, they've been dispelled now because we have defeated the first of the 4 fiends and restored light to one of the orbs. So, way to go. Let's head back to Melmond and let the people know the good news. Some of their dialogue has changed now. Melmond was once a beautiful town. Well, maybe it'll get better now that the Earth is being purified. Look, the Earth orb is shining again. We can sell that silver shield. We don't need that. And I guess we can, we can also sell that wooden staff if we wanted to then. So, for just that measly 7 gold. Well, he tells us the same thing about the Titan. Well, we already know that because we fed the Titan his ruby and he disappeared. Where he went to, who knows? Are you the Light Warriors? Well, we weren't sure if we were, but we definitely are now. So, give us encouragement to revive the orbs, and we will. That guy's farmer. Light Warriors, thanks to you, the Earth is beginning to revive. No problem. Just what heroes do. In the northern world, there was once a prosperous civilization, but now it is in ruin. Uh-oh. Hopefully it's doing better than Melmond. The ancient people used a stone to make their ships float. We heard about that in the dwarf cave, the floater. That dwarf said that with the floater, he can float anything. I guess that includes ships. So, thanks to you, the Earth is beginning to revive. Thank you, Light Warriors. Thanks to you, Light Warriors. That guy gives the same encouragement to revive the power of the orbs. That person did not change their dialogue. Okay. How about this guy? Did we talk with him already? I think we did. Oh, yep, we did. He asked us if we were the Light Warriors. We are. Alright. So let's sell that. Yeah, I just dropped it. Yep. And we can save our game here. Alright, and you know what? I have so much money that I'm actually going to buy an extra set of that steel armor. Because even though we'll be getting elemental armor coming up shortly, that elemental armor will end up passing on to our ninjas. So that'll leave our fighters, bare without any armor. And you can't buy the elemental armor, so yeah, we have nothing else to spend our money other than, maxing out our heal potions. So we'll just grab that steel armor. So that streamer Jaya would be disappointed in me because he always talks about how bad the steel armor is. But he'd also probably be more disappointed in me that I'm using 2 thieves. Because for all the smack he talks about steel armor, he talks more smack about thieves. And he talks a lot of smack about Melmond too, so those are 3 things he hates. But I hope you haven't, you don't hate what I'm doing here, and you enjoy this playthrough, and you continue to come back and follow the adventures of Albert, Beez, Chip, and Nichols. Take care, thanks for following along. Bye!